What's up, everybody? Oh, hey, everybody. Thanks for joining. Hope you guys can hear me. Wait a couple more minutes so we can let people join in here. I think this is going to be a really cool and interesting stream tonight. So I'm just going to wait, see if we get some more people in here, guys. Yep, greetings. What's up, Sharon? Hey, thanks for tuning in. Bigfoot and on. Hey, man, what's going on? I think you'll like this one. Blinks 74 made it, yeah, just in time. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Can Squatch, hey man, what's going on? Brown Dwarf, what's going on, man? Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys will find this one interesting. I think it's going to be different for sure. But I'm just going to wait a little bit, guys, let people filter in. Again, thanks for tuning in. I know you guys could be anywhere, but you're here watching this stream, so thanks a bunch. Just making sure everything works. And you guys hear me okay? Everything sound good? Bigfoot Mama, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Okay, looks like we're getting some people in here. Sweet. Yeah, probably just wait a few more moments here as people just kind of come in here. Sharon, again, hey, what's going on? Prudently at home, hey, how's it going? Mark, what's going on, man? Good day down there in Australia, right? Hopefully I got that right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Okay, so I guess we'll go ahead and get started here. Hopefully you won't get in too much trouble for this one. I was thinking about creating a backup stream just in case we got shut down, but I decided against it. So hopefully, we'll see how it goes. But if anything, don't be surprised if that happens. Cool, man. Down under, right on. Thanks for tuning in, Mark. All right, so if you guys are familiar with me, I'm Eric. I'm I run Mediapalace. I'm the producer and director of the documentaries The Legend of Hairy Man Road and The Beast of Brushy Creek. And in a nutshell, what those documentaries are kind of about is some strange activity going on here in my hometown where it seemed like there was enough proof, I would say, to say the FBI was actually here in the area searching for Bigfoot. I know it sounds weird, but this image here behind me is actually an image that the director of the FBI from Central Texas, from Texas in general, sent to the chief of police here in Round Rock, Texas, where I am today. So that's undisputable. That happened, and like I said, that can't be explained away. He sent an email, and attached to it was this guy right here. And I'm going to go ahead and send you the email. But the plan for tonight, guys, is I'm planning on doing a Freedom of Information Act for this particular reward. If you guys see at the bottom, it says there's a reward. So I'm planning on doing the Freedom of Information Act for the dates in between this to see, what was going on, see, if we can get any information on that. So that's kind of the plan for tonight. I'm just going to look back here in the comments real quick, guys, see if I missed anybody. Flat Rock, what's going on? I don't think I said what's up to you, man. Thanks for tuning in, guys. So that's the image right there, if you guys can see it. And like I said, it was sent from the director of FBI in Texas, and it's a wanted poster, and there's even a reward, $500,000 reward there at the bottom. Now, if this was kind of like a joke or something like that, like I would say, they still have to dedicate resources to that. You can see at the bottom it says contact your local FBI office or nearest U.S. embassy or consulate. So they still have to take those calls. They still have to interact with people that are claiming to have seen something. So I really can't think of another time the FBI put out a joke wanted memo or anything like that. So it's all kind of weird. But the plan is to go ahead and do the Freedom of Information Act on this guy here. And just to show you guys that it did come from the FBI agent, I'm going to show you some news reports that were actually published prior to, the same day this came out here. So this is a news report that was June 23rd. FBI assisting in search for Bigfoot and Round Rock. You know, they're just saying it kind of like nonchalantly, but to me, this is some really interesting stuff to say. And it says right here, the Round Rock Police Chief Banks received an email from FBI informing him, Round Rock community, that they've added Bigfoot to the 10 most wanted fugitive list. I mean, it sounds really weird and fantastical, but there you go. And they even showed the contents of the email here, and it says, I mean, you can see it right there. It says, it has come to our attention that Bigfoot has been seen in Round Rock. We're very concerned and plan to nominate him to the top FBI top 10. Please see the attached wanted poster. Any help your department needs in finding Bigfoot, we will assist. So, I mean, all this is really odd and strange. And so with this information that was in the media, I plan on doing the Freedom of Information Act, that we have dates, we have a specific subject, you know, the $500,000 reward. So hopefully we'll be able to get some information out of that. I've done prior Freedom of Information Acts kind of about similar things, but the wording was a little different, and so that might have affected the search and how they conducted the search on their end. But gotta look that list up. Hey, JCL Ohio, hey, what's going on? That's nuts. The FBI is looking for Bigfoot and announcing it. I mean, it's pretty blatant, you know. They put it out there, and this was in 2017, and no one really mentions it or talks about it. But there's documentation that, you know, kind of proves it. It's like a smoking gun. I always say it's like the smoking gun, but it's true. And just so you guys are thinking, oh, it was a prank or it was just some random person that did this, you can see for yourself. This is the guy here from one of his profiles, the social media profiles. Right in the middle there, in between, you can see it says direct the physical security, access, control, safeguard of classified information and safety of over 10 overt and covert secret facilities. That's the same guy who sent out that email with the Bigfoot wanted poster and all that. So, I mean, all that's really, to me, all that's really strange and odd. I don't know, you know. And it all just kind of adds up. And so, like I said, the plan is to do the Freedom of Information Act on that guy and see if we're able to get any type of information. Maybe we'll get an exemption. You know, hopefully an exemption might be interesting too as well, to see what kind of exemption we get, if they mark why they were able to exempt it. And I'm gonna show you guys exactly what we need to write and put in to get going here. I'm just gonna check the chat real quick. Okay. All right, guys, I guess we're gonna jump right into it. I'm gonna go ahead and do this here. Give me 1 second. So let's turn off. Okay, cool. Hope you guys can hear me. Everything sound good? I want to make sure you guys are able to hear me and follow along. Maybe even, you know, like I said, take notes. The goal for this, guys, is that people are able to learn and maybe even conduct some of their own Freedom of Information Acts with information they've gathered. And I know I put in the headline Bigfoot and UFO, and I wasn't planning on doing anything UFO related, but I put UFO in there just because some of the stuff that's been going on recently, like the disclosure, if you will, of the UFO videos and even the government's involvement, was some of it was due to Freedom of Information Act like searches. Even like the guy from the band Blink-182, Tom DeLonge, he has his own company, and what they do is they're constantly doing Freedom of Information Act searches on different, you know, information they've gathered from people who used to be employed at certain agencies, and now they've turned to the private sector, and he's dealing with those type of people. They give him some information where he's able to create these Freedom of Information Acts, or if you have enough money, you can actually sue to get the information. And so, like the TikTok UFO video, that's what happened. They ended up suing, and they knew about the videos prior because someone had told them they used to work there, and they sued, and you know, they were able to get those leaked, and a lot of information's come out like that. And I'm actually going to show you guys some other Bigfoot related things that have come out from Freedom of Information Act requests. So it's I think it's just as important as going out in the field and doing research out there. You can also do research, thorough research, if you have the certain information in your area, or certain information that you've heard with dates, names, anything like that. But I'm going to go ahead and pull this up here. Okay, guys, so if you're interested in doing a Freedom of Information Act, normally what you would do is you just, the one we're planning on doing is for the FBI, because like I said, the FBI was the one who put that reward there, the $500,000 reward. And so that's really what I'm going to be after, filing this Freedom of Information Act. So you Google it, you go to the first one that pops up, it shows you it's the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. And it kind of shows you and explains to you the different overviews, exemptions, and terms of doing a Freedom of Information Act. Law was enacted in 1966, and so on and so forth. So they pretty much tell you, everything you need to process a Freedom of Information Act. Here they have the exemptions as well. And normally they'll give you one exemption in particular where that's the reason they exempted it for. But I mean, you can see all this stuff. This is the FBI's website right here. So they give you all this stuff, but the one thing they don't give you and show you is where to actually file the Freedom of Information Act. There's no place here where you can just file it, or they don't include an email. So all that's kind of really weird. Yeah, I mean, they give you all this information, but they don't allow you to actually file it where you would imagine you'd be able to. So the next best thing you want to do is you can go to the Freedom of Information Act request. Just if you Google that, you're going to get the actual FOIA.gov, which is kind of like the home base for doing a Freedom of Information Act request. And I'm going to show you this. It's kind of weird as well, guys. So if you want to check this out, this is their stuff, and they pretty much tell you the exact same thing the other one did. There's a special form. So there's no special form you need or anything like that. And anyone can do it. Any citizen can do it. And it includes, what you're looking for and stuff like that. But so this is the main place you would go to do a Freedom of Information Act request. Now let's say we wanted to do one here. So we click on the request. Are you guys able to see all this stuff? I just want to make sure you guys are able to hear me and see me. Everything look good. Nothing running too slow. Mean Green Mean Machine. Hey, thanks for hopping on. Ida Bustamante, what's going on? Thanks for hopping on. Everybody, appreciate you guys. Hopefully, you guys might be able to learn from this and do your own Freedom of Information Acts in your area from information you've gathered. I think that'd be awesome. Just like sending people out into the woods, we can send people out and get them to do a whole bunch of these Freedom of Information Act requests. Prudently at home, all good. All right, sweet, appreciate it. So let's say we wanted to do one, all right? We're gonna do a Freedom of Information Act request here. So we're gonna go ahead and create a request. And so here, it brings up the government agency you're interested in doing the request for. So you have to choose one of these in order for you to do the request. So they have, all the letters here. They even have, they got like the CIA. They have some other stuff here. So if you're interested in doing, if you have information on that, you could potentially do something on that. But the one that we're looking for is going to be the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigations. That's the information we have regarding that $500,000 reward and the emails that have been sent back and forth. So if you want to look here, we're an F, and we can go down and look, and you can look all day, but you're not going to see the Federal Bureau of Investigations there, which is pretty strange and odd. On the actual Freedom of Information website, they don't have the Federal Bureau. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and type it in here. So they have it. I mean, it's clearly, you can see it's in the search here. You're able to look it up. So let's go ahead and click on it, and hopefully that'll allow us to do that. Oh my goodness, look at this. What do you know, huh? Currently, this agency's Freedom of Information Act is not linked to the FOIA.gov. So how about that? So we've tried twice to submit the Freedom of Information Act request, once on the FBI's actual website, didn't have a link there, and now we're on the actual FOIA.gov trying to do it, and unfortunately it doesn't look like their systems are linked. Coincidence or not? What do you guys think? You think that's by design? They're not allowing you to do that. They're just trying to make it maybe one step harder, in my opinion. Um, Surprise, right? I see Prudently at Home says surprise. Yeah, exactly. I mean, so you kind of feel like they're just making it as hard as they can to get you to do one of these. You go to the actual department you're supposed to, and they don't even have a link there. So you go to the the FOIA website, they don't have a link there either. So I mean, surprise, surprise. Uncle Bones, what's going on? Thanks for joining. Mary H, thank you for joining, guys. I hope you guys are able to follow me here, and I'm not just babbling. But all right, so we tried two places. Doesn't look like we've been able to get it processed yet. So let's go ahead and try this link they have here, online submission forms. Let's go ahead and click on that bad boy. Oh my goodness, look at this. So now we're at the FBI eFOIA portal here, where it allows us to do a paper or electronic Freedom of Information Act request. So after two links, we're actually able to find one that might be usable here. So let's go ahead and click on it and see what we get out of this one. So here they're asking us if we accept the terms. Okay, so we're actually going to be able to file on this one. So yeah, let's go ahead and accept the terms. And so what's going to happen, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and include my email, and they're going to send an authentication to my email. And once you get that, they're going to send you like a template thing you fill out. It has a bunch of personal information, your name, your address, and stuff like that. So once you get that filled out, it's going to give you a little summary page that you're able to write in whatever information you're looking for. So that's the next step I'm going to show you guys right here. Everything in their power to frustrate you. Yeah, they try really hard to, make it hard and frustrate you. That way you just give up. But hopefully this will make it easier. You guys will know where to go. You'll know how to file it yourself. This is pretty much the hardest part, just finding the link where to do it. And then once you just do the confirmation email, it'll send you a bunch of, it'll send you a form that you just fill out. And like I said, I'm going to show you what you should write. And I'd like to get some input from you guys out there. If you guys are interested in helping out with this next part, I'd really appreciate it. Let me go ahead and switch this here. I think it's this guy. Okay, cool. So this is the actual document that I wrote here with the information that I'm planning on getting from, this Freedom of Information Act. What I'm trying to get from this. So this is going to be like your bread and butter. You have to be really diligent in how you write this and word it, just to make sure you don't get closed or an exemption just for some silly reasons. And I've done that before, but you just, like I said, you want to have dates. If you can have dates, that's probably the most important thing. If you can have like prudent information, locations, even documentation, possibly, all that you can use in the Freedom of Information Act. On that thing that they're going to send you once you've confirmed your email, you're actually able to upload images, PDFs, and stuff like that. So you're able to do that as well. But this is the document right here that I'm planning on sending. And it says, "Dear Sir, Madam, this is a request under the Freedom of Information Act. I requested a copy of the following documents containing the following information be provided to me." Now remember, I'm doing the Freedom of Information Act on the $500,000 reward the FBI put out in my area looking for Bigfoot. And that's a fact. They put that out there. It can't be disputed. If you guys aren't familiar, you can see the documentaries, The Beast of Brushy Creek and The Legend of Hairy Man Road. They talk about the stuff surrounding what was going on at that time. And right after, the FBI seemed to get involved in a search for Bigfoot. And that was in the news media. It's really hard to explain that away. That's the reason I'm doing this Freedom of Information Act. Hopefully we can get some type of email thread from the chief of police, or even the head of the FBI guy who sent it out. That'd be awesome if we get some information from him, but who really knows? But like I said, this is going to be your bread and butter. You want to make sure you word this properly. And like I said, guys, if you can pretty much change this out to however you want. If you have some information about an area you've been researching or investigating, I would really recommend trying to do a Freedom of Information Act just to see, maybe they'll give you something. I'm going to show you guys here in a little bit what people have actually gotten from doing Freedom of Information Acts, and you might be surprised. The FBI has acknowledged they've been invested in the search for Bigfoot, and I'm going to show you documentation to prove that here in a second. But so this is it right here. This is the one that I'm going to be sending out. If you guys have any comments, please let me know. We can make the adjustments right here. All documents, including emails from June 22nd, 2017 to June 24th. Now that email in that poster that came out June 23rd. So I'm really trying to get, any information between those dates. So it's not like a big chunk. I can't imagine they're doing $500,000 rewards like every week or whatever. So I think that's going to be a pretty, probably the best shot I got is putting that date, that time periods right there to getting the information. So it's June 22nd, 2017 to June 24th, 2017 regarding a $500,000 reward issued from the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Now there's documentation to prove that in the news media. More than one news organization covered that story and published that information, that email. So all that is that's known information out there, and hopefully I included that. I'm going to include that here when I send it out. I'm going to include snippets of the news articles, the email they sent out, and hopefully that might give us a little bit more traction as far as getting information. So these next parts are kind of important too. You're asking if it's exempt, for them to give you information on why it's exempt. So that could be beneficial as well. Getting a reason for your exemption, that could be beneficial in any type of search you're doing as well. Okay, so the next thing is they're going to ask you about the fees you're going to pay. Since you're doing digital, you really don't have to worry about it. I've done both. I've done physical copies and email. Email seems to be processing a lot quicker. So here I put I'm willing to pay fees for this request up to the maximum of $20. If you estimate that these fees will exceed this limit, please inform me first. So that's just general stuff you have to put. If you put that, then you might be getting screwed. They might be sending you a huge bill or something like that. Just gonna look in chat real quick. Prudently at home, they'll do anything in their power to frustrate you. Yeah, they try. They try. Blues and G Music. Hey everybody, just tuned in. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope you guys are able to follow this. Cool. And so the next thing, like I said, you just kind of want to word it is, as defined as you can as far as dates and stuff like that, because that's really going to be where most of your information is going to come from. So if you guys have any input, what do you guys think? Should I go ahead and copy and paste it and send it out? Yeah, I'll probably just end up copy and pasting this. If you guys don't have any other input that I should put, I got the dates in there. I have the $500,000 reward. I don't want to put the location because if I put the location like Texas, they might just go ahead and close it because it's a state thing, and they'll be like, "Oh, you have to contact your state government. This is a federal Freedom of Information Act request. You need to contact your state." So most likely, I'm just going to send it like that without any state names or cities in there, just because, like I said, I don't think they could be doing $500,000 rewards like every couple of days. So to me, I think this is kind of a red flag that would stick out. And like I said, I'm going to include all the documentation when I send it, the news clippings and etc. Prudently at home looks good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sure. See what they say. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this. And like I said, I've already done all that other stuff. And let me put something up here. Let's put this guy here. Oh, I'll put that for now. So this right here, like I said, this is what we're doing the Freedom of Information Act request on. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on here now while I go ahead and copy and paste all that other stuff, guys, just because I have to put a lot of personal information on there. So please excuse me while I do that. And I will let you know as soon as it's done. But like I said, this is the wanted poster that was sent out by the director of the FBI here in Texas, sent to the chief of police. And this was during a time where a lot of interesting things were going on. People were having experiences. Actually, as soon as I send it out, I'll show you what I'm talking about. But they have the description here if you guys want to check that out. Aliases Sasquatch Hairy Man. Here we have the Hairy Man Road. That's one of the documentaries that I worked on, The Legend of Hairy Man Road. Be interesting to see their reply and how long it takes. It is, and I'm going to keep you guys updated to see what they say, see if we get any information, if we get any exemption. I think that'll be interesting as well, if we can get a reason for the exemptions. BCS BBQ, hey, what's going on? Flat Rock, what's going on? Cool, cool, cool. Hope you guys can hear me and see me. Okay, cool. So I'm just finishing copy and pasting it and putting it in there. Like I said, I'm going to select some of the clips, the news clippings and pictures and some other stuff that was included in there. So let me do that right now. And the other thing that interested me, guys, with this poster here that they put out, they could have put out a drawing, you know, of a Sasquatch, some, you know, cartoonish type of thing. But the fact that they used, you know, the Patterson subject here, to me, that's really interesting. I'm not sure if they were, you know, trying to make it seem more realistic. And if you read the cautionary thing at the bottom there, they talk about demonic-like howls. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like much of a gag if that's what they're going for. I think they could have done a much better job if they were trying to do something, you know, playful. And if you look at that June 2017, that's going to be something you want to check out. Flat Rock, I hope they would reply, but the FBI is doubtful. Yeah, they are. They are, and you know, like I said, I'm going to keep you guys informed, and they've released Bigfoot stuff before, as far as Freedom of Information Act request. I'm going to show you some of that stuff here in a minute. In 2019, the FBI released a bunch of documentation talking about how they were invested in the search for Bigfoot. I'm going to show you that here in a minute once I put that in here. It's kind of validating they put Patty up on the poster. I mean, that's an interesting thought. How do you know that's legit? Falcon Quest. Falcon Quest, this was attached to an email that was sent from the local Federal Bureau of Investigation director. And the way I know that is because it was included in the police Twitter. They posted on their Twitter as also in a bunch of other news outlets. It was included in there. And I mean, they weren't, the guy who did it, like I said, is the heavy hitter. And I haven't heard of the FBI doing any other type of games like this before. If you have, please let me know. I'd be interested in seeing, you know, any other posters or gags the FBI has done like that. You know, it'd be interesting to see. But as far as I know, they haven't done anything like that. And like I said, there was a lot of interesting things going on in the area at that time. And I'm going to show you here in a second. Let me just submit this real quick and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, cool, guys. So it looks like everything went through. I should be getting a confirmation email, and it'll give you a number so you can check that, like your status, see where it's at, you know, if anybody's looked at it or whatever. But I've actually been getting quicker responses than I normally get doing this Freedom of Information Act request. So I've got 2 so far. I've done in November, and I've got 2. I've got one email where they closed the first one, and then I got an exemption for another one that I did. And the exemption was worded very interesting this time. And I have that. I'm not going to put it up because it has a lot of personal information, and I don't want to get in trouble for posting, you know, federal documents up like that. But if you want to check it out, I'm going to put some of the links. I'm going to put some of the stuff on there, probably with blacked out information. on a Patreon. If you want to see any of the documents, I'll have it on there. You can follow along, or you can just look at find the stuff yourself. It's not hard to find. Like I said, this information's out there. If you just Google, FBI's investigation here in Round Rock, it's a real thing. It happened, and it's really hard to disprove that happened. Brown Dwarf Media Palace. I live near where the Patterson Gimlin footage was taken, and yeah, I find it funny they use Patty. Exactly. I mean, like I said, they could have drawn a cartoon. They could have, they could have done like some, what was it, the $1 Million Man, Bigfoot? They could have done a lot of cartoonish things, but they didn't do that. Even in the bottom there, the cautionary thing they put, it says demonic like howls. It says at the top, it says terrorizing of campers, destruction of government property. Like, to me, it doesn't seem like much of a joke when they're talking about destruction of government property and terrorizing campers. All that's really strange to me. But so I was able to submit that, guys. I'm going to keep you updated on all the information that I get out of it. If it's an exemption, like I said, I'm going to put that up on Patreon. So if you guys want to see that, I might put it up here on YouTube, but I'm going to have to block out a lot of my stuff, a lot of information on there. But either way, I'll keep you guys posted. And, like I said, any information I get, I'll share with you guys. What I'd really like to do, and where you get a lot of information, like I said, the UFO stuff, I wasn't going to do a Freedom of Information Act on a UFO, but I just wanted to talk about stuff that's been released because of Freedom of Information Act requests about UFOs. Like I said, they've kind of disclosed the fact that UFOs are real, and a lot of that was due to people seeking information like that. Like I said before, the guy from Blink-182, the Tom DeLonge, he has his own academy or business where that's what they do is all days they submit Freedom of Information Act requests. They sue. If you have the money, you can go ahead and sue the government for information. And they have insiders that used to work for these 3-letter agencies, these alphabet agencies that have kind of flipped. And now they're telling them they have their notes, they have things they've worked on, they have project names, they have dates. And with all that information, they're able to do this request and kind of fight it in court if need be, or you're able to precisely give information about, things you're seeking. And with that, they were able to get release of, like I said, these UFO videos that have come out, and even documentation about UFOs, like the UFOs, the government saying they have UFOs that are not of this world. They have them in their possession, off-built vehicles or something like that, off-world built vehicles, something like that. But I mean, all that was due to people seeking information in the form of either Freedom of Information Acts or suing to get information like that. And, maybe we'll get to that point where I'm able to do that. I don't think anybody's sued to get Bigfoot information yet. I think that would be a milestone if anybody was able to do that. And maybe with your guys' help, I'd be able to do that here in the future, to sue to get information. Because to me, this is all really, big information here as far as the poster, the email sent. All of it's pretty interesting. And I think if we were able to not get an exemption every time and have, the ability to sue for information, maybe we get something different. We get a different outcome. But hopefully in the future, I'd be able to do that. But now we're going to stick to the Freedom of Information Act. So I'm going to show you guys how people have gotten information like that, Bigfoot information on that. Just going to check the chat real quick. Juanita, hey, what's going on, Juanita? Great information. FBI certainly don't come across as jokers. Thank you for doing this, Eric. Hey, I appreciate that, Ida. Yeah, I just want people to, if you guys are able to follow along, do your own Freedom of Information Acts. Maybe you have some stuff, similar stuff going on in your town or your area, and you have the dates and you have, specifics like that. You can do this yourself and submit it and get some information. Like I said, I think it's just as important, the research, as the people that are going out into the field and getting information that way. This is just as good data just as good. So, like I said, I think with more people having this knowledge, we can bombard these people with Freedom of Information Act requests, and maybe they'll have to submit and just give us something like, here you go. But that's going to be the plan. Hopefully, if you guys will be able to follow along and do your own Freedom of Information Act. If you need help, please email me, Ericmediapalace@gmail.com. I'd be glad to help. Anyone who is interested in doing their own Freedom of Information Act request. We haven't been shut off yet, so thanks for watching, everybody. And I'm going to show you some stuff that I was talking about. Like I said, so there was someone who said, do you know it's legit and stuff like that. And if you guys remember, that was June. This came out in June 23rd. The FBI put out that email and the poster that came with it. So that was the email. That's the guy. So here, this is one of the more interesting things I found doing all the research and stuff like that. Give me 1 second here. Let's see. Do that. Okay, so William B. Breast too. What's going on, man? Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Mr. Lee, what's going on, man? Appreciate you hopping on. You guys here? Hope you guys can hear me okay and everything's working. Okay, so this is the other stuff that was going on around that same time. So if you guys saw, June 23rd is when that email was released, as well as that poster. Now, if you guys look here, this is a report that was sent to the Bigfoot Research Organization's website, and I know people have their own ideas about that organization, but they're able to organize their data really well, and this is just one of the ones that stuck out to me. There was another one that was the same year, but this one stuck out to me because if you look at the date, it's June 23rd, the same day that email came out and the poster came out from the FBI director. So this is on the BFRO, and it's June 23rd, 2017, the same day this was a sighting there in Round Rock, Texas, Williamson County. I know there will be many who will not believe what I'm about to relate, as I'm still having trouble coming to terms with all of it myself. You can read that full thing on the BFRO, but I mean, is that just the coincidence that came out the same day as the FBI stuff? Like, all of that is just kind of weird and more than a coincidence to me, I think. But yeah, I have no idea. It's all just really weird. And so that was another reason I wanted to do that Freedom of Information Act request, because it's either they're trying to cause some type of misinformation, or they're clearly following the online website communities that are dedicated to the phenomena of Bigfoot. It could be one or the other. They're trying to put up their misinformation, or they're actively monitoring what's going on and saying, hey, we need to put an end to this. And then they put out that poster and that email. All this is true. You can't dispute that. But yeah, so we did the Freedom of Information Act request. Hopefully we'll get some information back on that. Thank you everybody for joining in. Hey, Anna, thanks for hopping on. We just did the Freedom of Information Act request on the $500,000. Let me put that picture back up so you guys can see it. On the $500,000 bounty the FBI put out on Bigfoot in 2017, which is, I believe, to be a real thing. We did that. Hopefully we'll get some information. I'm going to keep everyone up to date on that. Either way, if we get an exemption or if we get some information, I'm going to let everybody know about that. I appreciate everybody hopping on. If anybody had any questions, I know I was going off trying to do my thing. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. Or if you have some input, you'd like to say, hey, maybe you should do a Freedom of Information Act on this. I'd like to hear what you guys are thinking. Yes, Ida was lurking. Hey, we'll appreciate you hopping on and letting us know. Do you think a filing of a FOIA, the guy whose housing got raided? I was thinking about doing that, but from what I've heard, you can't do a Freedom of Information Act request on a citizen, I believe, from what I've heard. And I tried doing that once before, not on that subject, but I tried doing that with certain names and stuff, and I got a closed right away because they said I was doing a third-party search or something like that. So I don't believe you're able to do it for federal employees, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but that's what I've heard. Thanks for that question, Ken Squatch, I appreciate that. Brown Dwarf, have you checked your county for reports in Bigfoot area in the BFRO? Yeah, if you just saw the one that I showed, that picture that I showed earlier, that was a report from the BFRO that was posted the same day the poster and the email were released. So coincidence? I'm not really sure. That's really hard to say it's coincidence. That someone reported a pretty aggressive Bigfoot sighting the same day that stuff was coming out. I don't know. It's all really weird. But there was another one. I don't know if it was the same month, but it was the same year. And they're more than one or two up there about this county here in Texas that I come to that come to mind. And like I said, they've had sightings here since the 1800s with the Hairy Man Road that got its name because of a wild hairy man that was chasing out settlers. In 1965, Shorty Caldwell got chased out of the area by a wild hairy man, and that's really when it got its name. After that is that incident happened. But there's been sightings here for a long time, and I'm planning on, hopefully soon, I'm not sure if I'm going to do one of these every week, guys, but anytime I have new information, I'd like to update you guys, or maybe, if you guys were like doing the Freedom of Information Act request, maybe I'll do another one on some other information that I've gathered, because I do them pretty frequently. Maybe I'll just start doing them now online if you guys are interested in that. I see Larry Hart, keep doing what you're doing, Eric. Don't let them stop you. You're on something big and they know it. Hey, I appreciate that. Yeah, and like I said, guys, please spread the word if you can. If you haven't watched the documentaries, check them out. The Beast of Brushy Creek, The Legend of Hairy Man Road. They go into more detail about what's going on in the area and the people that have been interested. Mr. Lee 3PO, I'm interested, man. Hey, yeah, for sure. Thank you. I appreciate it. And this is an ongoing investigation. It hasn't stopped. And I'm going to continue doing these requests. If I have the ability, I'd really like to, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I'd like to sue to get this information out. I don't think anyone's ever done that for Bigfoot information. Now that I brought that up, give me 1 second here. I'm going to show you guys some other stuff here. I promised I was going to show this, so let me see if I can pull it up. So, let's see here. Okay, I hope you guys can see that. Where am I? Okay, here we go. So this is the vault here. Like I said, people have actually got information doing Freedom of Information Act requests before. So if you see, this is some of the more, I guess, interesting things people have gotten information about while doing these requests. You can see they have everything from anti-war, fugitives, gangster era, Al Capone era stuff, pop culture, political figure and events, Supreme Court, unexplained phenomena. They have unexplained phenomena here. So this is, this is information people have gotten from doing Freedom of Information Act request. And you can see, I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but there's information people have gotten from doing this. So it's not wasted effort. Just like going out in the woods or, going out, looking up at the sky, I think doing stuff like this is just as important, because this is data. This is data when you look at it. And, this could definitely help in the search of whatever you're looking for, or, the search for whatever phenomena you're interested in. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a search right here. So let's just go ahead and type in Bigfoot, all right? Let's see what information we got on Bigfoot. Believe it or not, guys, there's actually Bigfoot information that was gathered from Freedom of Information Act and library. So people have done these requests and they've got this information. So this was a big deal in 2019 when this got released, and the media kind of went crazy with it. And I don't think anybody really, I'm not sure if people paid much attention to it as much as they should, because this shows that the FBI was testing Bigfoot DNA to see what was the outcome of it. That was a fact, and you really can't dispute that. And this is the documentation that was let out due to a Freedom of Information Act request. I'm just going to check the comments right here real quick, guys. Prudently at home. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hit the like button. Yeah, please do, guys. Like and share this. More people need to know about it. Yeah, for sure. In Oklahoma, you can get tags to hunt Bigfoot now. Yeah, I saw that. That seemed like more of a political stunt than anything. I know people were saying the wanted poster was interesting, but I think there's a little bit more bravado to that than the hunting thing. The hunting thing is more like the guy was just trying to be, more of a publicity stunt than anything. But I know they're out there in Oklahoma. Um, but I mean, all that was just kind of weird in itself. But like I said, this is the documentation that was released in 2019 after someone did a Freedom of Information Act request. And you can see the date here. This is 1976. So the FBI has been interested in this phenomenon since 1976, at least, from what we've seen in this documents here. And it was the person who contacted the FBI was Peter Burr, and I know he's a figure in the Bigfoot community. Like I said, guys, I'm not much of a Bigfoot researcher, but I've been working on, studying more about this stuff as I get deeper down the rabbit hole that led me here. But this is the information here. He had actually sent hares to the laboratory to be tested, and they tested the hares in the laboratory. This is all the information that shows, thank you for your letter. They talk about, how they came across the hare. 15 hairs, I believe. I'm not sure if they tested all the hairs, but this is all the documentation here, guys. You can see there's an article that was cut out that appears to be a Bigfoot being right here. But I mean, this was documentation that came out due to a Freedom of Information Act request. You can do that at home, guys. Like, this is stuff you can do. Anybody can do this. If you have, if you know someone who used to be like ex, federal or ex CIA or whatever, and they have information and dates, I mean, get in touch with them and maybe see what you can do, or who, if you know any other stuff like that. Oh, Uncle Bones, hey, I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. That goes into the search. That's going to go definitely for the search with stuff that I'm working on, projects that I'm still working on. Like I said, guys, this is an ongoing project, and one of many projects that I'm working on, and I really appreciate you guys. I don't want to sound boring, and I know there's other shows you can go to where you hear a lot of stories and stuff like that. But to me, I'm really interested in the data and finding, documentation or anything that can prove, kind of what we're looking for in a sense. And I really appreciate you guys, sticking with me and watching. Like I said, you can go listen to the stories and stuff like that, but I want to kind of inform people about what's going on here and what you could do. Maybe you're not in an area that has like much activity, or I'm not even sure if that's the way you would put it, but you're able to do these searches, with information that you kind of have gathered online and stuff like that. Because I know a lot of people do their digging online. Maybe you can do your digging online, and that might lead to doing your own Freedom of Information Act request, and you get something really big out of it. Like this here. This is all stuff that maybe someone knew, an insider here, and they said, hey, why don't you do a Freedom of Information Act on this here, XXX, and you might get some information on it. But all this is FBI documentation. We're on a FBI website looking at Bigfoot, guys. Like, this is real. Like, they've acknowledged it. They've searched for it. It's a fact. So if people can't really dispute, hey, has the FBI or the government been invested in the search for Bigfoot? Absolutely they have. And, this shows in 1976, they were testing hares and working on Bigfoot stuff. And I think that poster from 2017 also shows they were searching the area for Bigfoot-like beings. I mean, it doesn't seem so far-fetched now that you see that they've been searching for it far back as 1976. To me, that's what I think. But yeah, you can just go through this documentation and see, And I believe when they tested the hares, they had, I know it said 15 in there, but I'm not sure if they tested all 15 hares. I do believe they tested the hares, maybe 5 of the hares, and some of the hares came back inconclusive from what I believe reading this. It's been a while since I read it. I read it back when it originally came out. And please, if you guys are interested in the subject, please read it yourself. And it's documentation that proves the FBI was testing Sasquatch DNA. You can't dispute that. They were testing it. So I believe a few of them were inconclusive, and some of them were also human DNA. So I mean, that's to me, that's interesting as well. Could it be cross-contamination? Could it be something else? We don't know. But we do know they tested, it says right here, laboratory examinations. Guys, I implore you to go over this evidence yourself. It's on the FBI's website. You can go to the vault and just type in Bigfoot, and it's a few pages long, but it tells the dates. I mean, it doesn't stop in 1976. You can see this one here says February 24, 1977. So it was an ongoing thing. They didn't stop. And I believe that other poster that I had that showed 2017, I believe that was part of it. It's an ongoing thing that really never stopped. But these are the hairs. They even have pictures of the hairs. Look at this, guys. This is crazy. They even have pictures of the hairs. I don't remember seeing that, but I mean, this is all stuff that, Bigfoot information. This Federal Bureau of Investigation, on the letter, it has Bigfoot right there. I mean, what other stuff do you need to prove that, if not the Bigfoot, that FBI has been invested in the search for Bigfoot? This is it right here. And it's an ongoing thing, guys. It's an ongoing thing. They're still doing it. I'm just going to check out the chat right here, guys. DOJ is calling parents terrorists, so there's that. Ruger Ridge. Hey, Ruger, thanks for hopping on and checking it out. Uncle Bones, yeah, thanks a bunch, Uncle Bones. Sharon, hey, I appreciate you hopping on. I know you've been in here early, so thanks a bunch for that. That's what's in the FBI files. Yeah, it is. They've released UFO stuff as well. I haven't gone into all that stuff, but you can do the research yourself. And who knows what else? This is just the stuff they've felt comfortable releasing. I'm sure there's so much more stuff, and that's what we're searching for here, guys. Please, if you have the ability to do it, do your own search and see if we can find any information on it. But it goes on. It's a pretty long. It's 22 pages, but I mean, it shows that the FBI was involved in a search for Bigfoot. You can't really dispute that. So we're trying to get information with what I'm working on here. Like I said, the information that I've obtained here in my local area about the FBI search for Bigfoot in the area. So that's what I'm working on, and I really appreciate you guys hopping on and kind of motivating me to continue this search. And hopefully we'll have some information. Like I said, please do your own research. If you have the ability to do your own Freedom of Information Act requests, if you need help, contact me. I would love to help and do other, I do one almost every week. So, hopefully, like I said, we can just bombard them with Freedom of Information Act requests, and we'll end up getting something out of it. But, I appreciate everybody who's hopped on. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a stream every week. I'm not really sure about that. I might. Hey, Bigfoot and all, what's going on, man? Thanks for hopping on. Come to the Florida Panhandle. Hey, I'm curious to know if you've ever done any Freedom of Information Act requests on stuff in your area. I know what I showed you guys with the federal stuff, it's pretty identical for state stuff. And state stuff, I'm sure you'd be able to get some really in-depth information as far as the state stuff goes. I'd be interested to see what people would be able to get doing this on a state level. I know you're out there in the swamp, man. Maybe I've heard you talk about the the Ocheesee Palm Wild Man. Maybe they have information about that. Try doing an Freedom of Information Act on that. If you have dates that you're able to put dates in there, maybe you'll get something surprising. Who knows? Like I said, if we could just bombard them with these requests, maybe we'll get some more information out of it. Ruger Ridge, Mediapalace, good luck. I think you're onto something. Hey, I appreciate that. I really do. I'm going to keep the search going. Like I said, I'm working on other projects. Oops. I'm working on other projects as well. Not that one. That one. I'm working on other projects as well, and I hope to, have something here shortly. The Brushy Creek stuff is an ongoing investigation. I have several Freedom of Information Acts out on that one right now. I have the exemptions that I received. I received an exemption recently. And like I said, I can't put that up because it has some personal stuff on there, but I plan on putting it on the Patreon. If anyone's interested in checking out the documentation, it's there. I might do it on here too, just black out a bunch of stuff. Might take me a couple days, but yeah, hey, no, I appreciate it. What is this? I need to do one for sure. Cheesy Palm Wildman for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested in All these stories and anecdotes you hear that are kind of older, maybe not even that old. If you have dates and you have certain areas, I think, just give it a shot. Try doing a Freedom of Information Act request, and maybe you'll be surprised. Maybe you'll get an exemption. That could be surprising too if they tell you why they exempted it. Who knows? Like I said, in this last exemption, the wording was really weird. It said that they're not confirming or denying the information that I'm seeking. I have never gotten one like that before, so I think as I'm doing more, I'm starting to kind of get the wording how it should be. So maybe I can kind of just sneak it through, and they'll eventually have to leak something out just because I, worded it a certain way. I'm probably just imagining it, but it'd be cool if that happened. Into the unknown. That carved stone head was insane. Yeah, that was a real deal, man. I don't know. I don't know who put that there. I don't think I'd be able to do a Freedom of Information Act request on that, just because it was. I don't think anybody knows what that is or where that came from. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing. Like I said, guys, I'm not really a Bigfoot researcher, so to speak. I haven't been out in the field as much. I have put out like trail cameras and stuff, just because I think trail cameras are cool, and I like catching animals in their environment. I think that's really cool. I live out here on a ranch in Williamson County, and I have one here, and it's taking some really cool pictures and interesting stuff. Just want to make sure I don't miss anything here, miss anybody. And I guess checking tax office on property with door may be the way to go. Yeah, that might not be. Yeah, might be onto something there. That means they aren't telling scat. Yeah, it could be. Like I said, it's the ideal situation would be having the resources to sue to get the information. When you do that, the government and whatever organizations you're looking for, they take you more seriously. They take you a lot more seriously. I know in my area, for instance, my area, not my town, but there's a town. I'm not going to say the name of the town, but they fight back if you're trying to sue to get records. So much so, it's a small town, but they fight back so much so that they actually have the record for the highest court costs in Texas, right behind Dallas, one of the biggest cities in the state. And this small town fights that hard to keep their records closed. It's kind of scary, when you think about it like that. But that's kind of what we're up against here. But like I said, if I had the resources, that'd definitely be the way to go. Would be to sue to get information. That's how they got the information for the UFO stuff, the UFO videos that kind of forced disclosure. Once that stuff came out, I mean, they had no other, they had no other reason not to put it out there. It was all over, and you saw there was like the hot thing for like a week, and then it just kind of fell off after that. But doing Freedom of Information Act and suing like that forces disclosure, guys. So I don't think anybody's ever sued to get Bigfoot information or hairy man information, but I mean, that could be the way to go. I would be super interested in seeing what we could get out of that with, like I said, we have news reports, news articles here. We have the email transcript of when they sent that email communication to each other about the search for Bigfoot in the area. So, I mean, all that's evidence. You could, potentially, in my opinion, take that to court. But definitely going to keep doing the search here. The search for the stuff in the Brushy Creek continues. And like I said, I'm working on some other stuff that I think people might be interested in. Hopefully I'll be able to talk about that soon. I don't want to go into so much detail about it because it's still like a work in progress. I'm in the pre-production stages of that, but Uncle Bones, your contribution is going to go into everything disclosure that I'm working on here, the video projects that I'm working on, and I might even do shorter explainer videos on like this FBI email and the poster and the timelines for the bodies that were discovered in the Brushy Creek, which kind of make this all really weird puzzle. They all make this a really weird puzzle that the bodies were happening in a time period where the FBI was searching for Bigfoot in the area. Is that coincidental? I don't know, but I mean, like I said, I might do short explainer videos like that, maybe one or two. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a stream every week. But I do have some plans on doing a couple of streams here coming up soon. Um, I would really love to get the woman who kind of inspired me to do the Harryman Road documentary. She's a local author and historian and the greatest storyteller of the Harryman legend you will ever hear. I wanted to get her in the documentaries, but she really didn't want to be on camera. So hopefully, if I really, really, really hope I can get her on because her stories about the Harryman Road legend, and she's been in town forever. She's got some uh, incredible stories about people who've encountered this thing back in the 70s through the 80s. Almost every generation has had some type of experience, and I would really love to get her on the show, on the stream here maybe soon. But if not, maybe I'll do another Freedom of Information Act stream here. If you guys enjoyed it, I really hope you guys are able to get some information out of it. And then the other thing that I did when I was testing all the streaming stuff is I did the monster movie videos. I think some of you guys saw those, and it was a lot of fun making fun of these old creature feature movies. Like I said, guys, I'm not really a researcher. My background's in journalism and film. That's what I've been doing for the past 10 plus years. I worked for the public access here for a long time. So I love indie productions. I love small productions, any monster movies, terrible horror movies. I love it all. So maybe I might make that a thing, just kind of like a chill thing where we watch some really terrible monster movies and make fun of it. But your content is interesting, Eric. We like it. Hey, I appreciate that, Mr. Lee. I'm trying to mix it up. I don't want anybody to get really depressed coming here and like, oh my God, he's just talking about bodies and all this other stuff. But I think a monster movie night would be cool. And Ida says yes, monster movie night, cool. Well, I think I'll try to make that a thing, a monster movie night thing, because I just testing it. It was a lot of fun, and we had a lot of people that hopped on, and I'm grateful for that. But I'll probably leave it there, guys. I know it's Monday, and y'all are probably getting ready for the work week, but maybe be back this weekend, maybe Sunday, maybe Saturday. Please subscribe and hit that bell notification. That way you'll be informed on when I go live and the next stuff. Monster movie night, hopefully coming soon. I would love to have guests hop on too. Maybe like do a monster movie night with guests, and I plan on having more. Like I said, if I'm able to get the author, the historian of the Harryman Road, I think you guys would just be amazed with some of the stories she has to tell because they're really detailed and the way she tells the stories is brilliant. And I would really love to have her on and maybe do, like I said, another Freedom of Information Act request. Definitely do a monster movie night if you guys are into that. And I would love to have guests like sitting next to me, like some guests over here, whatever. Checking out some of these monster movies. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I tried to answer most of y'all's questions. Blue and G Music, I don't think I saw this one. Trouble is the government can have you in court for years. They've been known to bankrupt people just in court and attorney fees. They don't want it out there. Hey man, you're absolutely right about that. And like I said, there's a town here that it has a record for spending the most money to keep their records closed. And the first time I went up to the local police station here to get information, they told me that their records had been, their data system had been crashed for like 2 or 3 years, and they lost a bunch of information or whatever. So who knows? But I'll definitely try some more state stuff and federal stuff. It's an ongoing investigation, guys, and if you want to see the documentation, raw documentation without any editing, it's going to have all my stuff on there. You can go to Patreon and see it, or you can look it up yourself and find it on there. But any help is appreciated. Like I said, we're going to put this towards the channel. Please do your own Freedom of Information Act request, guys. If you need help, email me, ericmediapalace@gmail.com. Let's try to get disclosure forced. Let's try to force disclosure. Let's try to, and maybe if it's not on Bigfoot, maybe it's on something else we can force. Maybe it's something we don't even know about. Maybe a few people do. We can just force this disclosure. I appreciate everybody hopping on. Hope you guys were able to get some information out of it. And like I said, thanks so much. I'll be back this weekend. I think I'll be back this weekend, guys. Maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday. Please follow and subscribe and like and share. People need to know about this stuff and how to do it. But I think that's going to be it for me, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Good night, everyone in chat. Please come back next time, and yeah, we'll see you guys. See you soon.